Hello, and a warm welcome to you, my thoughtful friend. Find a comfortable spot and let the sounds of your busy day fade away. Today, we're diving into one of the most common, most frustrating fears for any language learner: the fear of running out of things to say. That moment when your mind goes completely blank and the conversation just stops. I promise you, this cinematic story will give you the tools, the actual strategies to fill that silence with confidence and curiosity. We're going to explore how one quiet person overcame the deep-seated fear of social interaction in a second language. As you listen, notice the new vocabulary and the simple phrases we use to keep a conversation alive and moving. Let them become the new bridges in your communication. Remember this always: your persistence is the only map you need for the journey to fluency. Tell me, where in the world are you listening from right now? And what time is it there? Share your location and your current moment in the comments below. Transition: in the next few minutes, you will gain more than just listening practice. You will naturally absorb new vocabulary related to communication, anxiety, and social dynamics. You will sharpen your listening comprehension, and most importantly, you will receive a powerful life lesson about transforming shyness into genuine connection. Storytelling begins. Our story begins in the bustling yet profoundly lonely world of online video conferencing. Our character is a woman named Zara. Zara was a talented graphic designer from a quiet village, and she had just landed her dream job working remotely for a dynamic international marketing firm based in Toronto. This was her grand chance, her pivotal moment. A pivotal moment is a crucial time when something important changes. Zara was brilliant when it came to color, layout, and visual storytelling. Give her a blank screen, and she could create magic. But give her a blank silence in a team meeting, and she would freeze. Her team meetings were conducted entirely in English. Her listening was good, and she understood most of the technical jargon. However, when her boss, a fast-talking American named Mr. Vance, would ask a general question like, "So Zara, what are your initial thoughts on the campaign idea?" her mind would immediately become a silent, terrifying blank screen. She knew the answer. She had complex, creative thoughts, ideas that could genuinely improve the campaign. But as she formulated the response in her mind, she worried about two things: grammar and pronunciation. The fear of making a mistake was so overwhelming, meaning extremely powerful or difficult to deal with, that her brain would simply hit the emergency stop button. She would manage a mumbled two-word reply, "It's good," or "I agree." Mr. Vance would then move on quickly to the next, more articulate, meaning able to express ideas clearly and effectively team member. Zara's brilliant ideas never left her mind. They remained trapped behind the language barrier of her own anxiety. She was effectively invisible in the meetings. The irony was painful. She was paid to communicate visually, yet she was failing to communicate verbally. One evening, after a particularly silent meeting where she missed the chance to pitch an idea that another colleague pitched successfully an hour later, Zara felt a profound sense of despair. She realized the truth: her English wasn't the problem. Her fear was the problem. She wasn't running out of things to say. She was running out of courage to start. She felt the heavy weight of being perpetually misunderstood. She made a difficult, crucial decision. She wouldn't allow her shyness to steal her potential any longer. She needed a new strategy, one that went beyond grammar books and tackled the social side of English. She needed to learn the art of the conversation leap. Zara's realization was her turning point. She understood that the goal of conversation wasn't perfect grammar. It was connection and contribution. She decided her new strategy wouldn't be to memorize more vocabulary, but to learn how to redirect the focus of the conversation and buy herself crucial thinking time. She learned a set of techniques we call the conversation leaps, simple phrases that prevent the awkward silence and gracefully extend the dialogue. Strategy 1. The echo and expand. When asked a question, she wouldn't just answer, she would echo the key idea back, followed by an open-ended question. For example, when Mr. Vance asked, "What are your initial thoughts on the campaign?" she trained herself to say, "That's a very interesting concept. Could you clarify one thing for me? What is the primary objective of the visual design?" Notice the power here. She bought herself precious seconds, confirmed her understanding by using the phrase, "Could you clarify one thing for me?" meaning, "Could you explain something more clearly?" and showed engagement by asking about the primary objective, the main goal. She was no longer running out of things to say. She was steering the conversation. Strategy 2. The acknowledge and bridge. When she didn't know a specific word, she learned not to panic. Instead of falling silent, she used a bridging phrase to keep the momentum. If she wanted to say that the project was getting too complicated, but couldn't remember the word complex, she would say, "I feel like this project is becoming very difficult to manage. I need to take a step back and reevaluate the schedule." The phrase, "I need to take a step back," meaning to stop and review the situation, is a highly professional way to admit difficulty without losing confidence. Strategy 3. The opinion inquiry. She realized that conversations are two-way streets. To avoid speaking too much or being put on the spot, she learned to ask others for their views using simple, elegant phrases. After making her point, she would immediately pivot. "I've shared my perspective on the layout. Now, I'm truly curious to hear, what are your thoughts on the color palette, John?" The phrase, "I'm truly curious to hear," is warm and inviting. By using the word palette, meaning the range of colors used, she demonstrated her professional vocabulary, yet she put the focus on someone else, fostering collaboration. Zara began practicing these phrases in a mock meeting setting with a tutor. She realized that these phrases were not just words, they were social lubricants, things that help a social interaction go smoothly. They gave her the time to organize her thoughts, while simultaneously making her sound more engaged and thoughtful. In her next meeting, when Mr. Vance asked her opinion on a new marketing slogan, she didn't just say, "I agree." She used her new strategy. "That slogan has a great deal of momentum. However, I'd like to gently suggest we reconsider the target demographic. Could you elaborate on who we are trying to reach with this message?" Momentum, the force that keeps an object moving, and reconsider, think about something again, are powerful words that made her sound intelligent and discerning. The silence was gone. Her voice had finally arrived. Zara's consistent application of the conversation leaps soon transformed her professional reputation. She was no longer the silent designer. She was the articulate architect of the team's ideas. Her colleagues started noticing her engagement. She was often the one facilitating, meaning making an action or process easier, the flow of ideas, not just contributing a small part. One day, Mr. Vance pulled her aside. "Zara," he said, "I've noticed a remarkable shift in your participation lately. Your questions are penetrating, meaning showing great understanding, and your suggestions are consistently insightful. meaning having a clear, deep understanding. We're promoting you to lead the next major visual campaign. The promotion wasn't just about her brilliant design skills, it was about her communication skills. She had mastered the language of connection. She learned that a powerful conversation is not about having an answer for everything, but having the courage and the phrases to navigate the silence, to ask meaningful questions, and to redirect the flow gracefully. She realized the most important lesson: you never truly run out of things to say if you learn the language of curiosity. Instead of focusing on what you don't know, focus on using simple phrases to express what you do know, and then ask the next insightful question. Asking questions like, "What are your thoughts on this?" or "How do you feel about that particular approach?" is the simplest, most effective way to keep a conversation going and show that you are paying attention. Your goal as a language learner is not to be a perfect speaker, but an effective communicator. And effective communication means never letting fear silence your brilliance. Use the conversation leaps. Be curious. Be courageous. Let your voice be the bridge to your next great opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to be your guide on this journey. If Zara's transformation has inspired you and you want to continue mastering English listening and powerful conversation strategies, please subscribe to the channel right now. Don't miss our next lesson on overcoming language fear. Keep learning, keep speaking, and never let the silence win.